Hi everyone, this is Michel with another weekly challenge to God, and my weekly session where I challenge God directly, where I commit blasphemy in front of a camera, and I demand God to provide evidence that He is real. Today, the topic I want to talk about is fine tuning. An argument often used by theists to claim that only a God can explain how life would come to existence against unimaginable odds. And many of them even go further in their argument to claim that the existence of laws of nature uh, can only be explained by a desire of a deity to create life. In other words, would be to create an universe, to create the solar system and the planet Earth, especially for us. As God created the planet, created the solar system, created the universe in order to give us um, somewhere to live. Like the whole universe was created specially for us. Now, because we were created at God's image and we are His children, so this is pretty much our playground, according to this idea. Well, there are many problems with the fine-tuning argument, but in this video I'll focus particularly on this one that says that there is a will behind the emergence of life. There is a will of God to create life. One of the problems that I see with this argument is that it takes life as something good on itself. Like, it doesn't question whether it's life is necessary and whether life is actually something good. Because there is, of course, joy in life. If there is no life, there is no love, there is no joy, there is no happiness. But if there is no life, there is also no sorrow, no pain, no suffering, and most importantly, there is no death. So if you would argue that the universe was finely tuned for life to emerge, it's just as easily to argue that the universe was created for death to emerge. Without life, there is no death. So if God created the universe for life, then God created the universe for death and for pain and for suffering. Now, to some people, life is pretty much only pain and suffering. If you were born in certain conditions, you will absolutely you will experience pretty much no joy in life. You will experience suffering for most of your life, especially if you have a short life. You're born in a really poor conditions and you only experience famine and disease and pain and violence. Life is absolutely, there is no happiness or joy in your life. And then if that is the case, if that was a God that allowed this to happen, then of course theists will have to come up with other explanations to why God would do such a thing. And here you start creating several problems. And once again, one thing that I always come back to is benevolence. Because if God created the universe, created the solar system, created the planet Earth in order for life and death to emerge, and also for pain and suffering and famine and disease, for all of those things to emerge, you cannot claim that God is good. It just doesn't make any sense. And that is why I have so much issues with monotheistic religions. if God is good, there is doesn't make any sense that he would create such reality for us. Why he would make a world that allow pain and allows suffering to emerge, and worse than that, that allows death. And we all of us that have lost someone we care about, someone we love, there is probably no worse pain than the loss of someone close to you. That is extremely painful, and God allowed that to happen. God would have created that. It's part of his design. And if God also created heaven, where everything is perfect, but there is no sorrow, there is no disease, there is no death, why the hell wouldn't he made us go through this trial? It absolutely doesn't make sense. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a stupid proposal. God would just put us straight in heaven where we would just be happy. Why would he make us go through all this? It's stupid. God would be either incompetent, or he just wants us to either fail or wants us to suffer. So if you get rid of benevolence, that is a much better argument. It's an argument that is much more defendable. But if you claim benevolence to God, and at the same time that God created the universe, especially for life to emerge, you are creating an insolvable problem. And that's why the idea of a good God creating the universe, creating Earth, fine-tuning the universe, especially for human life to emerge, just doesn't make sense. And another problem with that proposition is artificial intelligence, because also not only takes life as something good in itself, but that life is the end goal of evolution, or human life is the end goal of God's creation. But if we are creating artificial intelligence, and if artificial intelligence becomes, it's capable of replacing us, of becoming more intelligent than us and stronger than us, and so on, we are no longer the end. It doesn't make any more sense to claim that we are the end goal of evolution if we can be replaced by artificial intelligent robots. So that becomes another problem with fine-tuning, because a robot would be an intelligent robot could easily claim that we are just a step in God's creation, and that they are the ultimate goal of God. So this, in my opinion, just makes the whole idea that fine-tuned for life universe is just completely absurd. It's absurd for taking life for granted, absurd for believing that humanity is the ultimate goal of evolution and of the universe, and of course for claiming that this is all the machinations and the creation of a good, all good, benevolent being. That doesn't make any sense. And it's just baffling that people would actually believe such a thing and would claim that to be true. So, yeah, this was my complaint, my challenge, better saying, for this week. And well, I will see you again next time. I have been Sarah Michel, and thank you for watching. Cheers.